Let's talk about it.
Hello and welcome back to Thicc Radio, the award-winning podcast where we talk about gaining, fetishism, and everything plus size. Today, I'm a good little Krispy Kreme boy, James.
And by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes, Tim.
Oh, we got nursery rhymes. And I'm your aubergine dream, Capy, aka the Captain Bara, and we're so glad to be here to open up on season 6.
Welcome to season 6, bags. I mean, shit, season 6. Fucking
6 years we've been doing this. 6 years
well,
we've been doing this.
technically it marks the close of 5. Like
Yeah,
that's
technically.
but this is intro to season 6. This is the introduction of our 6th year. As of today's episode, we are officially closer to a decade of doing Thicc Radio than not. So, hello, everyone.
You successfully completed a half decade of
That's true,
conversation.
A half decade, my Christ. So, listen, y'all, we're kicking off season 6. We're going to get into the usual bits that we do for a season opener. We're going to go over stats. We're going to go over the usual. But you know what, y'all? We're gonna try and change some things up because now that we're moving into a new season, we're doing new things. As you can see, literally, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can see us. We're doing video shit now. So, like, you know.
Yeah, subscribe to take a gander at these fuzzy bar titties.
Literally, now listen, y'all. Listen, I know there are some fucking hirsute fuckers of you out there. If you do not know what Capy looks like, you did
There he goes. Titty dance.
you're doing them little titty twitches. Shit.
See, this is why I go to the gym. It's not for my fitness, it's just so I can make my tits dance.
So Capy can make his tits dance and sell us some subscribers on the motherfucking Patreon. So please, for Capy's benefit, subscribe. Check us out at patreon.com/thicradio. That would be wonderful. So listen, we're talking obviously things that are changing for season 6, and that's the first thing. We're bringing back the Patreon. We haven't done her in a number of years, but you know what, y'all? As you may or may not be aware, towards the back end of last season, we had the opportunity to start interviewing some real interesting people outside of the community. We got some great responses from people inside the space who really resonated with those episodes, and the people outside of which really enjoyed doing them. And the feedback that we were really getting is there's something very special here that should be cultivated. And we've always known that, right? Like we talk about that. But I think we're at the point where that cultivation looks like a paycheck of some description. So that's why we're looking at video shit, y'all. We're looking at bringing people on to have some cute conversations. And so we'd love it if you could subscribe. We'd love it if you could tune in and, give feedback and commentary like you all would have done in the first instance, right? Like chat to us and let's build it into something really cool. Let's build opportunities for people. That would be great. So listen, I think that's the first thing is the Patreon. But Tim, Cap, I feel like there are some other things we want to announce for season 6. Does anyone have anything they want to share that we're going to be doing differently?
Well, we're going to have more guests from more unique walks of life than probably ever before. Bigger, meatier, and of course, edgier conversations. And we're excited to just branch out in all different directions. Talking about muscle, talking about the chunky individuals, talking about just all kinds of plus-sized excellence.
Something else that we're debuting for season 6 is a little segment we call Extra Helpings, which every time that we have a guest on, we're going to ask them a little bit more of interesting, fun, possibly even salacious questions to really get into their personality and the kind of life that they live and the kind of experiences that they've had. And nothing is going to be off the table.
I mean, I think that's quite exciting because over the years, we've sort of lamented the thought of wanting to dig a little into people's like kind of sexy side of things because obviously we're all here largely because we enjoy the sexy side of all of this, but because of the way that podcasting works, the way that networks operate, like there's only so much that you can like delve into in a way before it starts to bring up potential issues for people. So this is just a fun way of being a little bit more salacious with some of our conversations and depending on the guest, really digging into some of the stuff that maybe you are wanting to know about some of our guests. So listen, another good reason to subscribe to the Patreon. And of course, because of all the stuff we did in the past, we'll be rolling that out as a bit of a backlog so that you can see a lot of the stuff that we used to do. And we're looking at bringing some of those things back, things like chonky chats and just going a little bit off kilter, off script, you know? We're going to see where the wind takes us. So I think the Patreon is going to be a lot of fun. And as Cap said, all sorts of brand new guests this season. There's just so much, y'all. So I really hope that y'all are as excited for season 6 as we are.
And if there's anything you'd like to see that we're not already giving you, please write us at thecradio@gmail.com.
Yes, write to us. Or you can visit our website, which has now officially been renamed, y'all, thicradio.com. Y'all, we finally got ourselves a motherfucking domain. That shit has changed. So make sure you check that out in the show notes. If you visit our website for any reason, you better be going to thicradio.com because that's where we're at now, bitch. Ain't no pod page and that shit no more. You got to go to thicradio.com. Thank you very much.
And as we've said, this is now beginning our 6th year of creating this show, and we could actually use a little bit of help. We have decided to really put it out there to the community. We would love to grow this program even larger, to do more things, to take on more creative projects. But we have a lot of work that goes into that, a lot of editing, a lot of building, a lot of brainstorming, and a lot of transcribing. So anyone out there, if you're interested and you'd like to give us a hand, we are begging for some help here.
And another exciting thing to look forward to in season 6 is that we're starting to take listener questions. Many podcasts do this, and we thought, why not jump on the bandwagon? So if you have burning, deep questions that you would like to run by any of the three of us about any of the things we talk about, or maybe things we have yet to talk about, please feel free to send them in, and we're more than glad to read them on the pod and share your questions.
I think this is a great way to start the season because I feel like every year we talk about the things that we're kind of wanting to do differently, and sometimes it comes down to like if we have the energy, if we have the time to do things differently. And I'd like to think that we're somewhat successful on that front a lot of the time. But it feels like, you know, with having Capy on board, especially over the last few months and moving forward, and as we hopefully, as you'll say, bring new people on board as well, we're going to get to see more of that growth. We're going to get to see more of that fulfillment. So we really do hope y'all that as we kick things off here on season 6, that you join us on that ride and help to make Thicc Radio physically and metaphorically bigger and better than ever. So listen, y'all, with that said, let's get into the usual affair of our season openers. We are going to talk some stats. Now, listen, I know that sometimes when we kind of list off the things, it gets a little bit word salady, especially when it comes to like, oh, the countries that we're now being broadcast in. I think it's always exciting when we find new places, but you all don't need to hear the major list. All you need to know is this: on top of all the places that we are usually found in, we are now also found in Iran, Senegal, Bolivia, and St. Lucia, which means we are up to 109 countries total, which means we are now listened to in 55% of the world. So shout out to all of our brand new listeners. Thank you to all of our existing listeners who check us out in countries abroad and at home. That's very, very exciting for us.
And we have officially gone over 100,000 downloads. We are at 110,000 downloads right now. So, I mean, and I remember when James and I would go over those numbers from previous season recaps, and we were like, oh, God, it was struggling along there for a little bit. And then in the last couple of years, we had a pretty significant push. So we finally broken through that 100,000 K download threshold.
Yeah, I can't remember who told us this all the way back when, but something about over 100,000 downloads, businesses may even start to look differently at what you do. So here's hoping in terms of sponsorships, y'all, that maybe you might see us starting to read out some adverts. Maybe you might see some cross pollination conversation about some bullshit. And listen, if you get to hear us say to somebody, tell us more about this product of yours, just know that we finna get paid for that shit. So, you know, feel free to entertain us by clicking a link or some bullshit. You know, like help a bitch out by clicking on some stuff. Yeah.
Furthermore, if you happen to have a company or product that you would like us to talk about on the podcast, please reach out to us at thecradio@gmail.com. And looking over here at our listener demographics, We are at 75.2% male listeners, 15% female listeners, and 0.6% non-binary listeners, non-specified at 9.1%. The meaning of this, there's a 1.6% decrease in male listenership. We're up 2.6% with female listenership. Non-binary is down by 0.4% and non-specified down by 0.8%.
So I feel like this is a good sign in terms of what we've always been pushing for, which is to have more female inclusion for the podcast and trying to have a lot more cross-pollination with the fetus community. As you'll know, we're always looking for feeties and for straight men who want to be a part of the program to come on and share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So this is, as always, a shout out if you are listening and that is you, or if you know someone who fits the bill that you think would be a fabulous guest, reach out to us at thecaptainbara@gmail.com. I'd love to see more members of our broader community feeling represented by what we do here at Thicc Radio. So please let us know.
And if we look at our listener ages, we've got a few updates there too. So under 17 has actually reduced to 0%. I'm going to assume that's because anyone that we had under the age of 17 is now over 18 listening to us. Our 18 to 22 range is up to 9.1%. Our 23 to 27 range is 23.6. Our 28 to 34 is about 45.4%. The 35 to 44 age range is at 19%. 45 to 59 at 2.5 and over 60 at 0.4. So we do still have some over 60 listeners. We've changed it, like for the under 17, it's about down 0.6%. The 18 to 22 is up 1.1%. 23 to 27 is down by 6.4, but 28 to 34 age range is up 6 points, 6.1. 35 to 44 stayed relatively even. I don't think it changed. 45 to 59 went down 1.2%, and our over 60 category did actually go down. It's down by 0.6. So I'm assuming, these are changes, obviously, because we've been on the air for 6 years, and people who have been listening us maybe from the beginning are moving in and out of age categories as they listen.
Yeah. So I think where we see there's increases in age categories, that's just people aging up. And where we see some of the older categories pacing down, that's people who maybe aren't tuning in as often. And you know what? That's probably reflective of the age brackets of people that we have actively on the show. That's another category of people that, we try and get through the door as often as we can, but sometimes it's challenging. If people don't want to chat, they don't want to chat. But much as we were trying to call out to women and straight men before, we're calling out to the oldies. We're calling out to anyone who, frankly, if you consider yourself an elder statesman in this community, if you are an older person by any conceivable marker, reach out to us at thecradio@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on the show to share your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. We'd love to get that representation up as well. I mean, this is the conversation we're always having, right? We want more of everything. So, yes, come and join us. Now, looking at our listener platforms, y'all. So currently we are sitting on Apple Podcasts at 31.5%, Spotify at 36.2%, a web browser at 5.1%, Pocket Casts 2.5%, Overcast at 3%, Podbean at 3.1%, and all other platforms at 18.1%. And that's really interesting, right? Because both Apple and Spotify, our two biggest, have actually had a decrease in listenership on those platforms at a loss of 8.7 and 6% respectively. Web browser is an increase of 2.1. Pocket Cast remains the same. Overcast is a very slight increase of 0.1. Podbean went from 0 to 3.1, so that's an entire improvement. And our other category is at 8.8. And I feel like what that's signifying is that as we see in the world, there are questions around big platforms and around the influence that major forms of media have, especially on things that have to do with sex of some kind. I think people are wanting to maybe divorce themselves a little bit from a lot of traditional sources of income. So people aren't listening on major platforms anymore. They're listening elsewhere. Now, if you check out our link tree, we've got listed pretty much every extra platform that we've ever found ourselves listed on. We've got that whole list there. So if you don't want to be listening to us on a major platform, you can go to our link tree and actually check out every place that you can otherwise find us. Now, if you go through that list, you know that we're on a place, it's not on that list, let us know at thecradio@gmail.com and we'll add them motherfuckers to the list, because the more places we can be, the more opportunities there are to share what we do with the world.
A little fun fact that we discovered while looking over the numbers is or at least I was curious as to, where was the largest concentration of our listeners. Turns out that it's in La Miranda, California. 13.1% of all listeners are in that particular place in California. The second was in Brazil, and it was split between São Paulo and Santa Catarina.
So listen, if you're there, hi.
Hello.
I mean, 13.1% is a substantial number of people to be like in a certain town. Like, so listen, if that's y'all, if y'all are listening from La Mirada, California, like, do y'all get together? Do y'all have little Thicc Radio listen parties? Are you like cooking up a storm, fattening up your friends, and then tuning in to Fats as we talk about gaining fetism and everything plus size? Like, what's going on in La Mirada?
I
Should
wonder,
we go to La Mirada and have a live show?
I wonder if it's people who aren't commuting to and from LA from somewhere in
It could be.
California, because it's
It could
very
be.
much an in-between.
Interesting. Maybe that's where the signal is picking up that they're based. That's very fascinating. Because listen, y'all, we know we've heard the feedback from people. People love to put us on when they're doing long car rides on the flights, especially. We keep you company when you're driving. So listen, if that's you, let us know. We'd love to hear more from you. And obrigado, Brazil. We love you all.
And so, looking at our social media platforms here, we have 2,389 followers on Instagram now. On TikTok, 1,573, YouTube, 834. This means that we've had an uptick of 791 followers on Instagram this year, which is really good. 365 on TikTok, one follower a day for the last year, basically, and 221 on YouTube.
Which is fabulous. I'd like to think that this is in part perhaps relation to the Warren Davis series that we did, which, if you'll remember, we had coming out all throughout the end of 2025, which I think was very well received. And in fact, Capy, I think you might have made an appearance on an episode.
That I did. And if you're curious to hear me talking with my good pal Lazy Susan and these guys, you can check it out on all the fine platforms you can find us.
I thought it was a very exciting project to do. It was interesting to reflect on that, 20 something years after the last thing of this person came out, people still talk about it. People make blogs, they make Tumblrs, they do photo sets. It's a real challenge on social
They make AI
media.
slop out of it.
They make
I've
AI
even
slap
seen
out of
AI
it.
slop.
But you still see those challenges where it's like there's iconic pieces of Warren Davis artwork, and you've got gainers doing the side by side, saying it's like one of the highest honors to know that they're in a shape that they can recreate this stuff. Like it's such a potent piece of work that he created, and it was our pleasure to get the chance to review it. Unfortunately, we have not heard from Mr. Davis. We don't know if he's still kicking, if he's interested in talking to us, but listen, Warren, if you're still alive, we would love to talk to you here on the channel. So please reach out to us at thethicradio@gmail.com. We'd love to interview you.
And if you are a listener who is not already familiar with Warren Davis, he's essentially the Tom of Finland of the gaming community. Lots of very iconic pencil sketches of erotic scenes
Mm,
and um, sexual fantasies.
mm. Which, on that point, it was quite interesting actually casting for the series originally. The amount of people who ultimately said no because they were like, I've never heard of this person.
Yeah, I was surprised by how many people had not heard of him. And I
No
kind of
clue.
thought that he was sort of,
Ubiquitous.
yeah.
Turns out no. But that actually brings us up to something else that's worth mentioning. As you'll know, we've had the chance to do a couple of reflections episodes on the podcast thus far. We've honored people who've gone, and we're also looking to give flowers to the people who are still here with us. So if you have someone in mind, someone who's maybe been around a minute, someone who hasn't gotten their flowers, let us know. We'd love the opportunity to have them on the program to talk about their achievements in the community and give them a little bit of love. We're calling the series Reflections, and not necessarily going to be a regular occurrence, but here and there, dotted in and about, we'd love the opportunity to just give some love to some different people. So reach out to us at thethicradio@gmail.com and let us know.
Sorry,
Like,
every time you say reflections, I keep thinking of Mulan.
Yes.
oh, okay.
Same.
Who is that bad I see? Maybe that's the theme music we need to make for these episodes. And
Yeah.
I'll do my best. Christina Aguilera, like, who is that bad I see? Just bury that.
And then I'll sing the closing credits like Lea Salonga.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So hang on, if I'm Christina and you're Leia, Tim, who are you?
Grandma.
Yeah, she is beads of jade for beauty.
Beauty.
But it's a
You
completely
must.
different actress singing, yes.
As I'm sat here, stressed out of my mind, going, I should have prayed to the ancestors for luck, and you're going, what use are they? They're dead. And I got all the luck we'll need. And it's you like swinging your cat around, like I got all the luck we'll need.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, come on. If not that, then I'm the matchmaker.
Fa Mulan.
You must
I always
demonstrate a
quote
sense
this.
of dignity.
Dignity.
To this day, I still quote the matchmaker. Whenever somebody sends me a picture of a man who is not thick enough, I say, too skinny, not good for bearing sons.
That's actually a very good point. What am I going to do with your skinny ass? You going to give me some children? I don't think so. Where are they going to come from? Coming from nothing. Coming from the wind chimes. Baby, no.
Wind
James, are you still
chimes.
thinking of the Mpreg episode from last season?
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, that was a good episode.
It was a
I
good
thought it was a
episode.
really good episode. Listen,
I'm not throwing shade. Anyway.
so now we talk stats, y'all. Let's talk about reflections on the season. So, as you know, sometimes we'll put out vibes about, like, what do we think is going to happen, right? One of the vibes we put out at the start of season 5 is we want to see more men and women coming together. And I think we achieved that. I think we had a good couple of episodes where we managed to have some good, diverse representation. We want to keep that shit going for season 6 and keep it moving forward onwards. We want to see as many different people getting the chance to share their thoughts, feelings on different subjects as possible. So listen, if you haven't been on the show before, you think you'd make a good guest, schedule an intro call with us. We'd love to have the chance to chat with you and see if it's a fit for moving forward. Another thing we talked about is potentially more awards related things. And something that came across our desk, I think like maybe a month after the episode came out, the Full Figured Industry Awards reached out to us about presenting at the awards in 2025, which we did. Tim and I got suited and booted. We went back to New York. We had a great time. We met more fabulous people. So that was a real success. Now, I would like to see us win more awards because I think if we won it once, we can win it again. So if y'all are familiar with like other award circuits that you think Thicc Radio would be applicable for, please reach out to us. Where? At thethicradio@gmail.com, the email that we have never once referenced on this podcast. Reach out to us there and make suggestions for us, liaise with us, help get us award season ready, suited and booted, looking gorgeous, ready to receive awards because we should win awards for what we do, frankly.
Or if you've submitted us for an award, let us know because we actually did get submitted for the Inner Star Awards and we never knew who submitted us. So if you do submit us to an awards committee, let us know so that we can thank you and shout you out and let you know that you were the one that put us on the map there.
Absolutely. And you know what? Maybe we didn't win at the Inner Stars, but they gave us Thicc Radio, which was
They
fabulous
did. Oh my
and
God,
stupid.
yeah.
They really did.
It was so funny because what the viewers won't know is that I went to the Inner Star Awards on behalf of Thicc Radio to potentially accept the award. And even though we didn't win, I was watching the ceremony happen, and James was actually streaming it in London from like a PBS station somewhere. And the moment that they said Thicc Radio, he texted me within like a millisecond. He's like, Thicc?
Yeah, basic literacy is apparently not a given anywhere.
Listen, thick with 2 C's. I feel as a millennial, is that not like when they said fat, PH8, like was that not the part of the same generation of linguistics? Are we not commonly aware that thick with 2 C's
Well,
is
imagine
like
how bad they would have screwed it up if we were Fat Radio spelled PHAT. They probably would have called it P-Hat Radio.
P-Hat Radio? The podcast where we talk about pea hats and the hats that we pee on?
Hey, I'll have you know, peahats are a very prolific species of villain in The Legend of Zelda.
Are they?
Are they? I
Yeah,
don't know
you run
anything
through
about
Hyrule
Zelda.
Field. They're like the pineapples with razor blades on the bottom that will like chase you while you're riding Epona through the fields. They're called peahats.
I didn't know that.
I haven't played a Zelda game since Link's Awakening, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
Of course, the last game you played was on a 2D console.
Well, of course it was. Look, I am a product of the 90s. I was raised by television,
Ocarina of Time is
Nintendo,
from the
and
90s, bitch. What's your excuse?
he was too busy playing stick and hoop. That's what he was doing.
And by that you mean anal. Anyway,
Yeah, by the late 90s, yes.
He was too busy sucking dick. That's what he
Yeah.
was doing.
That's why I never watched TV. I was too busy.
But now, I think it is time, gentlemen, to talk about season 6 as we open up to a new chapter on Thicc Radio. So let me put this to the pair of you. What are some things that you want to see happen for season 6 of the show?
I mean, a lot of what I wanted to see is things that we're returning to, like more exclusive content. I'd be happy to see the chunky chats come back. Maybe we can work on chunks we like to watch again. I loved doing that with you because some of your reactions to some of those films were quite priceless. And is there anything else? I mean, just I hope you and I get to travel to more things representing Thicc Radio this coming season. Like, I hope that we can. I don't know. Like, I don't know what events we should be looking at, but like, I hope that we can like maybe go to Cannonball or Convergence or something and represent Thicc Radio while we're there. I know those aren't gainer specific events,
No, but
but
like, can you imagine Thicc Radio live at a bear event, like getting to host a panel and bring on some big, thick, handsome bitches to kiki and cut up? I think would do very well. And I'd like to include Cappy in those plans if possible. The people don't necessarily know his villainous backstory, but Cappy is often very booked and blessed. So I think if we were able to manifest Cappy's appearance at an event, that would be quite wonderful. We shan't hold to it, but if we can put the energies out into the universe to summon this big booty Latina to us, that would be absolutely incredible.
yes. And going into the next season, that is one wish I have. I would love to do a live show with y'all. I'd love to actually hang out IRL. We hang out plenty online, and so it would be lovely to have our chats in person, hopefully at an event. I'm hoping I can make it to the finals. We'll see if my work schedule allows, but that is certainly something in the works. And I'm also looking forward to more conversations with big beefy bears and lifter types. As you know, that is my ministry, as folks say in the church. And so I'm excited for just the ever increasing variety of guests that we bring on, as I mentioned before, from all walks of life, who have so many unique and interesting stories to share.
I think that ties in with my want for the season as well. As we found with these external guests over the course of the end of season 5, there is so much crossover with the gainer experience, with the broader plus size experience, with the bear experience, the BBW experience, just being fat in this world experience. So I really hope that as we start to put out the vibes to more people, that we start to bring on more external peeps. We are never going to lose the ministry that this podcast is about gaining fetism and everything plus size. We talk about gaining and fetism plenty, so now we're going to bring in more of that generic plus size. We're going to broaden it out. And you know what? We're going to start educating these broader plus size people on gaining and fetism, y'all. We're going to start to break down these barriers because no one else is out here doing it. No one's trying to teach the world that it's a chill thing to be a big boy getting bigger. So listen, that's what we want to do for more of season 5, and that's my hope that we start to see more of that understanding, and through that, more opportunities to represent us, to bring other people into that space. So watch this space, and let's see what we can do with that. So listen, with that said, y'all, we have a listener letter. And as we'd like to remind you, send us some listener letters. We'll read them out on the show. But this listener letter wrote in, they said, "Hey, Fats, one thing that always occurs to me is being incredibly attracted to both obese men and women, but not always sexually. There's this primal satisfaction in just lying down with an enormous person and enveloping yourself in their rolls and folds and feeling so lucky and enchanted and primally romantic. My question for you all is this: how do you understand the difference in desires that you have for folk sexually and intimately? And how do you develop community with others in the space when you don't necessarily have that much else in common with them? Thickly yours, Larry."
Hmm,
Okay.
that's
So,
a great question.
Tim, Cap, thoughts?
the difference between desires that I have for someone sexually and intimately, I don't know if I necessarily separate those two things. They have always kind of been intertwined for me. Intimacy and sex used to be sort of synonymous. And then exploring more um, encounters within the gainer community. There were some that were intimate that didn't lead to sex at all, which I guess is where I find myself now because I'm back out in the dating pool and I'm finding that I don't want to be intimate with certain people.
Yeah.
It's just not there. And I feel like when I was younger, I would have forced something just because it's like, well, I mean, these are my options here. Like, I just got to go with what is going to make sense. But now it's much more of a, I don't mind being alone now. I'm 42. I guess it took me this long to get to a point where I'm okay with being alone. So if anything that I do in the next couple of years develops into a relationship, great. If it doesn't, then I'm still going to be okay. Um, so yeah, I guess now I look at it as I would rather have more intimacy than sex because honestly, I think it's a bit overrated. And when you consider, like I've said a million times, and it bears repeating, that sex in the gainer community is not traditional penetrative sex anyway. I don't think I'm gonna. I think the only struggles I will find are with people outside of the community because there is still an expectation on gay men to always be sexual, to always want sex, to always be at the places where sex is happening, and I'm just not interested anymore.
No, that's very fair. And piggybacking off of that, not every encounter has to lead to sex, right? So often, yeah, I mean, yes, sex positivity is important, and I'm not here to shame anybody. But I feel like so often when we're young, we accelerate the narrative and we think, oh, we have to like now, like on the first, encounter, because when will I ever see this person again? And yeah, sometimes there is that feeling of urgency. But one thing I've learned in my big age of 32 is that um, sometimes it's okay to take time to warm up to sex. It doesn't always have to be immediately right then and there. And sexual encounters I found tend to be more gratifying when I have a sense of rapport, a sense of connection, a sense of trust with the other person. And as a somewhat anxious person myself, I tend to have a better time if I feel more secure and comfortable in the presence of somebody that I know and trust. So I think it's good to take things slow and just kind of be straightforward with people about, what you want, what you're interested in, and take the time to get to know them beyond just the fact that they are a large man or woman. That's a great starting point for interest and desire. But you got to remember there's a person in there at the same time at the end of the day. And that person requires as much time and attention as you would like to have yourself in getting to know somebody.
I think both of those things are very important. And kind of just echoing, I think, a lot of the same sentiment. What do I always rant about here on the pod? We're very good at understanding what makes us sexual about gaining and fetishism, but are we fulfilling ourselves emotionally, socially, psychologically, spiritually, in all of these other facets? And I think maybe if we make more of an effort to find ways in which gaining and fetishism can fulfill us in those ways, it might make it easier to discern, one, how we figure out our feelings of attraction towards another person. Is it genuine attraction? Is it admiration? Is it desire because I really want them? Or is it simply an accessibility thing? Similarly, with that conversation piece around developing community with people in this space, when maybe the only thing we have in common is gaining, there are going to be other things. But if we're looking to fulfill those more social aspects as well, we're going to be more inclined to find those things. So I think, like everyone's been saying, find opportunities to explore more facets of yourself with gaining and fetishism, and I think you might just be very well surprised by the things you find. But listen, y'all, that is our welcome to season 6. I think this is going to be an exciting season. There is more in store. So listen, that is it for another week here on Thicc Radio. Please remember to like and subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave us a good review. If you liked this episode, share it with your friends and encourage them to tune in. You can find me on Instagram and BlueSky at stannnum.
And you can find me on Instagram at thiccymouse and Grommr at Orpheus.
And you can find me on Instagram and other fine social media platforms at thecaptainbara.
You can also find us on social media at Thicc Radio or visit our website at thiccradio.com.
Consider supporting the show by donating to our PayPal or by subscribing to our Patreon, where you can enjoy extra helpings, a behind-the-scene conversation with this week's guest where nothing is off the table.
And if you happen to have any questions you'd like to ask us, please be sure to email at thethicradio@gmail.com.
That's all for now. So until next time, bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Bye, Fats.
Let's talk about it.
Thicc Radio is an independent production.
Artwork, media design, editing, and production by James Heinze.
With original theme music by CYMK.